If you're an INFP and you don't escape into fantasy worlds at least weekly, then you might be dead inside. What's up, legend? It's Sherman here from Geek Psychology, where I help geeks, gamers, and creatives to have more confidence and motivation. And a lot of that is through personality type, just because I find it to be such an amazing model. So in this video, we're talking about INFPs and the push and pull between the fantasy worlds, the idealistic ventures that we go on, and how that can be good and how it can be bad. The good things that give us the recharging in our lives, and the things that it kind of takes away from, and also a little technique on what you can do to kind of merge those at the end of the video. So when I was younger, like back in high school and middle school, I would constantly just envision like my teacher wearing a different hat, or having wings, or just flying out of the room, or just doing all these random things. Like, my imagination was so vivid. Now I don't have that degree of it, but I definitely do space out quite a bit, especially recently, and which is why I'm talking about this in this video, because when I start to bring in more of this strategizing commander into my life, and taking more actions, focusing on the goals and stuff like that, part of me still wants to seek creativity, and see what could be different, explore my identity and things like that. And in order to find that balance, I just kind of like shut off, escape into my own private world, create some distance between the real world, the extroverted world, and the introverted world. And it's a way of rejuvenating, it's a way of recharging. So if you're an INFP, I think you can really resonate with that. It helps you create some distance. So let's talk about what INFPs are, just in a short way, just for this video. Okay, so we lead with introverted feeling, our dominant function. So I call it the hero of the resonating empath. Okay, so our resonating empath is deep diving down into who we are, our identity, what do we like, what do we dislike, what do we hate, listening to our conscience and all this stuff. So really exploring all the little facets of what it means to be a human. It's really important on an individual level. And that's where we get flow. That's where we want to be. That's where we enjoy our life. So we have this constant compulsion to do that, right? That's how we recharge. That's how we rejuvenate. And then we also have extroverted intuition as our auxiliary function. I call it the mentor because I personify all these things. And it's the innovating explorer. So the innovating explorer is all about the ideas. It's creating ideas and expanding them out into the real world, and a little bit more real-time facet, I suppose. And it's like creating memes constantly. Okay, you have this one image, you have this one thing, and then you change it and you send it out again and see what could it be? What is the possibility? What is the potential of this thing, I suppose? It's like if you have a pen, you're like, well, what are the possible uses of this? What could I do with this? Right? I could write with it, right? But I could also throw it like a dart. I could spin it around. I could put it up my nose. I could do a lot of different things with this, right? I could use it as a prop, like to prop something up, perhaps, with good balance and delicate hands, I suppose. So that's what extroverted intuition is doing. So put those together and you have this constant exploring of who you are on an individual level, and adding on potential, adding on possibilities, adding on the what ifs. Okay, and that is so exciting for INFPs. That's why we create all these things like poetry and songs and music, and there are a lot of good things that come out of that, right? Like Walt Disney itself is very INFP. The Winnie the Pooh, right? Calvin and Hobbes, Shakespeare, like those are all like really nice creations of INFPs. Okay, and that comes from exploring what it's like to be a human and then playing with the fantastical world. So I'm definitely not saying to get rid of that, but let's think about some of the pains, some of the problems that come from it. If you spend too much time just in your fantasy world, it kind of feels like like the real world just falls away, and that's part of the desire, I suppose, right? It's a little bit of escapism, and yet if you do it too much, then you kind of get lost in it, and you don't actually create a life that has any sort of stability, right? You're not actually going out and achieving things, because you play with it in your mind for so long. And the problem with that is, like, if you're like me, 10 years, 15 years doing the same thing over and over again, repeating negative habits, then you're like, well, what do I actually have to show for my life? I'm not in the place that I want to be. I didn't actually do the things that I wanted to do. I didn't put myself in the position to become an actor or anything like that, or a singer or a pianist or something like that. Because that takes actual real world tangible actions, and that's hard. I understand that. So you got to balance that, right? We have to balance that as INFPs. We have to appreciate our imagination, our innovation, our feelings, our creativity, and also create and be productive in the sense of producing something, right? Creativity is creating, it's making something, right? And productivity is producing something. And if you're not doing that, then it's just kind of mental stimulation, let's say. You got to be careful with that. So the way that I kind of think about this is, think about your current situation, okay? Think about your current situation. What is that like? What are the good things about your environment, about the skills that you have, about the capabilities or capacities for change and things like that? Who you think you are, your identity, your beliefs, all these other things, right? Really, like, get clear on what is the current situation. Is it good? Is it bad? List it out, find the positives, find the negatives, and then think about the future situation. Think about just like 3 years from now, okay? What could you have? What could it be like? What are the possibilities there? Okay, where would you be living? Who would you be living with? This is something that I go through with coaching clients and strategy calls and stuff like that all the time. Is where are you and what do you want? What are the things that you want in your life? And make it big. Make it full of the fantastical imagination aspects that we love. So don't limit yourself by having, well, I've never done it before, so I don't think I can't really see myself doing this. This is something I as I said, I constantly have conversations with clients about. I don't think I could do that. I've never done that before. So, and then we like instantly limit ourselves. So go the opposite way. Use your imagination. Use the fantastical thinking and expand it out. Triple it, whatever it is. If you're like, yeah, I want to make like $10,000 a month. Okay, that's really good. But what if you tripled that? What if you made it 30,000? Like, that's more inspiring, right? What if you had an amazing car and you were living in the exact place that you wanted to live in? You can create that house in your mind, like I've done so many times, and think about the relationship that you could have. Make it amazing, not just a good relationship. Make it like the best relationship ever. So really get clear on that and use your gifts of imagination to help you fuel that dream, yeah? Like if you were to think, okay, what if nothing changed? What if 20 years down from now, nothing changed and it was just the same thing? You're still watching YouTube videos like this, trying to escape or better your life or something like that, and you actually haven't taken any steps. Like that would not be good. That would be awful. You wouldn't want that, right? We have to strive for something. We have to push ourselves to do more in our lives. And if we don't, then we're just dissolving into nothing, and it's not good. So it's about taking those actions and stimulating it with your imagination, using the fantastical thinking, using your heart, using your feelings, to go towards the things that you want in your life and away from the things that you don't. And we have the potential as INFPs to bring in a lot of like deep exploration of self that other people need. It needs to happen. We need to share more of these things. We need to have more poetry, have more songs, write more books, create more art, create more buildings, like if you're an architect or something like that. Do the stuff that we need to do, like express this inner understanding of humanity. Be better comedians. There's tons of things that the world could benefit from if INFPs use their fantastical thinking for good, right? Not just for escaping, for good. I've heard so many INFPs say like, well, I want to change the world. I want to work in the UN. I want to bridge relationships between different countries or people, or be a surgeon and travel the world and help people with disabilities and write. There's just so many just beautiful things that us INFPs aspire to do, and yet we just get stuck in, I've never done it before, so I don't know how to do it. And then we limit ourselves with that. And yet when we're just imagining for fun, we go all over the place. We use our incredible imaginations. So it's about merging those. And if you need some help with that, you can go to inowfeelpositive.com and sign up for the newsletter. You get some really good freebies within there, some videos and stuff like that. Or go down below into the description and schedule a strategy call, and we can talk through and see if you're a good fit and I'm a good fit for you, and we can work together to make your life better. That rhymed. All right, anyway, keep up the lifelong questing. Good luck, have fun. Peace. Love you.